Student housing is such a unique industry. The more unique an industry is, the more important it is for that industry to have a resource and a platform to share ideas and data, to determine best practices, and a platform to simply promote networking among the professionals in that industry. That's what we are setting out to provide with Student Housing Insight. But what's even more unique about the student housing industry is how unique those professionals are. They want to make a positive impact on the students and the university communities they serve. They understand they have an opportunity to touch the future. They come to work every day looking for ways to make that future bright. If you're one of those people, come be a part of Student Housing Insight. Well, what's up, everyone? I hope everyone has had a great morning so far, and hopefully you're either sitting down to eat some lunch or getting ready to order some lunch. And just want to thank you so much for joining our special Lunch and Learn webinar. This is something that we started a couple of weeks ago with one of our sponsors that is in the STR space, short-term rental space, and we were talking about a few folks looking to take their properties, place some units on short-term rental. And we had a couple other sponsors that were like, hey, we should do that as well, because we've got some updates that we want to talk about. And one of those is Opiniion. If you're not familiar with Opiniion, they're really, I call them the #1 resident satisfaction software platform that's out there. I've been working with them for a couple of years. I've used the product and can tell you that, from a standpoint of managing the process around, getting more reviews and also responding to reviews and to surveys and that type of thing, they've been absolutely fantastic, and have been recommending them to everyone. And I tell you, there are a ton of student housing operators that have moved to Opiniion over the past year, and I think it's just a testament to the product, #1, and then also they're just a great group of people based in Utah. And I want to bring up one of those folks here in just a minute to demo something new that they've come out with to help us manage our social media accounts for all of our properties. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. But I see a lot of you guys are putting your name and location that you're watching from in the chat. Thank you for doing that. Would really encourage everybody to do that and use chat to talk about what we're talking about on this webinar. And if you've got any questions as well, just make sure that you put a Q in front of the chat. That way I can kind of spot it and see that you've got a question. So now that we've got that housekeeping out of the way, let's bring on today's guest, Evan Rainey with Opiniion. Evan, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm excited for this. You gave me a sneak peek last week, and there were so many things that I was just like, this just makes things so much more simple. Not just the software and the platform and the integration with everything else that you guys integrate with, but the AI part of it as well. And I'm excited for everybody to see this. Quick question: where did this kind of come from? Was this something that was feedback from current customers, or what spurred you guys to launch these new products?
It really was from client feedback. So, and not just from existing clients, but also from prospective clients and from, we are heavy attendees on the trade show circuit, and we're consistently hearing in the space about, operators and property management professionals wanting to consolidate tools, and hearing that they're just so tired of having 18 different tabs open and having to spin all those different plates every single day. And so hearing some of the needs of, again, what our kind of ICP is struggling with, we said, hey, let's now bite this piece off. We've really nailed, like you said, the review generation piece. measuring and managing resident satisfaction, understanding exactly what they're thinking and feeling about their experiences every single day in the communities in which they live. And now we're rolling out some fantastic new tools, including social media management, to help our clients, better their processes, engage residents even in more ways, all for the bigger goal of raising satisfaction, staying dialed in and engaged with their residents.
Well, I know you personally had your hands into the development of this product, and which I think is so important, not just for marketing for multifamily, but marketing specifically for student housing, because you were a director of marketing at Redstone Residential, which is a top 25 operator in the student housing space, and I think that is so key. I've got to ask. Um, how much of frustrations you may have had with other solutions you were using. Did you say, hey, this is how we're going to make this better?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, a lot of what we put into this tool kind of came from, my own pain and struggles that I felt. And I know that, we all feel collectively, like you said, I came from, my background, a large player in the student housing industry, and knowing some of those struggles of coming up with what are we posting, why are we posting it, how are we getting the resources or the content for these posts, how are we reaching current and prospective residents, or are we just kind of checking that box of I'm just posting to post. So the tool really helps with some of that, and the collaborative nature of a corporate team versus an on-site team, even contractors or third-party marketing agencies, all being able to work together to execute on the social media strategy. We think we just really knocked out of the park on this one.
Oh, great. Well, I did bring my lunch with me, but I did bring my Opinion coffee mug, and it is full of iced coffee. So I'm ready to get into it if you are.
Yeah, I am. Let's do it.
All right. Let me bring your screen up here. Let's see here. There we go.
Cool. So I'll just kind of dive right into it. Like I was saying, we built this really to help with first and foremost consolidation. So bringing all of the different tools and resources into one place to kind of prevent that what we call tech overload, or having so many different tabs open. We're already needing to jump into our PMS, and we're needing to jump into um, our Google business profiles. We're needing to jump into our Facebook pages. We might have Instagram pulled up, and we might have other, software solutions all pulled up, and every single day we're jumping into them. And sometimes, those bars or those tabs get so small because there's so many, we often forget, oh, I need to get into that one because there's something I need to do. So we're all about consolidating and trying to build all of these things into one place. And so, like I said, the goal here being resident engagement. So we really nailed the reviews piece, and I hope everybody's had an opportunity to see that already. But right within the Opinion dashboard, we've added Social Pro, which we're really, really proud of. And getting right into it, the goal with Social Pro is kind of like I said, is about making posting really, really easy. It's about posting to everywhere that it matters as quickly as possible, being able to do it in bulk. So you can do it for one property or many all at once with customization along with that. So it's not just the same cookie cutter stuff across every single property. And collaboration. So whether there's approvals needed, or whether we want a second set of eyes, there's many people who can be here and be involved in that process of managing a social media. So I guess I'll just kind of get right into it and start showing some of the things that it can do, and some of the problems that it helps to solve. So first and foremost, coming into creating posts, you'll notice here a whole bunch of different, social assets, and we group those by, a common definition already familiar in the Opinion app of locations. So if I'm just wanting to post to, my Lofts on Main location, or my Opinion location, or, Avenue on Fifth, or whatever the apartment community is, you'll select your location group here, and it's going to by default select all of the social channels that have been previously added to post to. And we can post to 10, which are Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google Business Profiles in the little updates section, Pinterest, YouTube, Threads, X, Blue Sky, and TikTok. And so posting to all 10 of those in one place, like I said, I can do it for just one community, or I can do it for multiple all at once, which is pretty awesome.
Now, if you've
But
got
for,
a if you've got a property that, for I mean, Blue Sky's fairly new.
yeah,
TikTok, not everybody's jumped into, right?
yeah.
But maybe you've got some properties that do. Um, are you able to push it out to all of those, and then it kind of automatically figures out, oh, this property doesn't have it, or does that cause issues?
No, it does cause issues because it's up to you to determine which ones you want to bring in. So you may, for example, you've seen here on the opinion side, we have more social media assets owned by Opinion, but we only brought a few of them in, so we can determine which ones of those 10 we actually want to bring in and want to post to out of the Social Pro tool. Furthermore, I can at any point deselect and say, okay, for this particular post or this content, it may only be text, it may not be an image or a video. I may want to deselect a couple of these and therefore only posting to, again, as an example, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for this one particular post.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, kind of going through that process, some of the things that we baked in and why I'm really, really excited for this to get into the hands of student housing professionals is, I think in general, again, this is my own experience and, being out of the owner operator side for, gosh, about 6 years now, being on the tech side. Student housing, in my opinion, is doing such a better job about social media than multifamily, than senior living, than single rentals, short-term rentals. And I'm really excited for this to get into the hands of student housing professionals because, again, I already feel they're doing a much better job about their social networks, but having a tool that's going to help them post even quicker into more places with more functionality, I think they're going to be able to come up with even better stuff than they already are, which is really, really exciting for me, and I'm excited to see. I'm going to deselect a couple of these just for the sake of this demonstration, because some of these, as you all know, if you're familiar, have certain character restrictions and things of that nature. So I'm just going to go to the kind of basics here: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google. Again, some have different text limitations. And so if I'm going kind of rapidly with something longer and it's going to want to truncate, you might see some notices pop up, which for our users will be really, really helpful in getting the right messaging and content kind of massaged for that particular post. But a couple things that are kind of baked in right from the get-go, like you've seen, I've selected the pages that I all want to post to. I can come in and write my own caption. With our AI pilot, you can come in and say, okay, what are you kind of thinking? In my opinion, I think one of the biggest struggles with social media management is what to post. A lot of times, the directive comes from the corporate entities, maybe even the property owners, and say, hey, we need social activity. And a bare minimum that might come through just activity. We just need you to post twice per week. We don't know exactly what our kind of goal or strategy is yet, but we know we need activity, so we need you posting twice per week. And so people come in to their social tools, or they go to Facebook or to TikTok or wherever, and I feel like they're kind of struggling, like, well, I need to do it twice. It's Wednesday. I don't want to get something out Wednesday and Thursday,
Right.
so I need to do something today, something Friday. I think they just kind of struggle with what to come up with. So we give some ideas to kind of help spawn, or inspo some creative here. So upcoming holidays are something that's going to come up, and you'll see these change, right, as the seasons and the months change. So upcoming here are a few, national or local holidays. If I select one of those, we're going to plug in a prompt for you to then generate a caption for. You can massage that caption with a different tone. You want it to sound a little bit differently. You want it to be a little bit shorter, for example. You just want to rephrase it. You want to translate that to a different language. There's a lot of options baked right in here. I'm not going to massage it at all, but I'm going to go ahead and just insert it as is. And you see some of those kind of notices here, like, hey, character limits. So just FYI. So got my caption here. Now I need the content. What am I actually posting? So a lot of teams are using tools like Canva to collaborate to create. They have a suite of great templates and kind of starting point. Not to mention all of your existing content that you might have worked with over the years. We plug right into the dashboard. So if I come into here and say, I'm going to design something from the dashboard, I can pull from one of their existing templates and I can make simple, quick tweaks to.
Now,
Um,
this is a complete integration with Canva because I still see everything in the background. Like this is baked in. This is not, this isn't
this
like a second screen that you've gone to or anything like that.
No, this is, yeah, native Canva baked right into the tool. I'm logged in already. If I wasn't, it would just pop me on a login page. I log into my Canva account, and then it's going to drop me right here in my dashboard. And this is the dashboard that anyone who uses Canva is going to be really, really familiar with. Um, so we love it because, again, they already have such a rich network and library of content here that, again, to the points of this
Yeah, everybody
demonstration.
goes to Canva to put together a quick social media post. I mean, that's just that's amazing. That integration's right there. So, and you could even, I mean, I know a lot of people in Canva, property managers and marketing managers are, actually planning those posts out. So if someone's responsible for that, you're just immediately plugging into that and able to grab it.
Yep.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And so not only just pulling from their templates, but you'll see here your existing uploads and your other projects. So like I said, if you've already been using Canva and you already have a kind of catalog of different things that you've created, you can dive into those folders and pull from existing content to grab, images or text or content that you've already used and plug that into your new social post creative in this case. And this one, I don't think it actually needs any changes. If you wanted to, you could drop, a property logo on here or something. But I actually don't think that's needed, and I'll kind of explain why here in just a little bit as well. But I've got you saw I was using the Juneteenth idea.
Mhm.
We generated a caption for you guys, post text and everything like that. Came into Canva, found something cool. If I wanted to tweak or modify it, I could. Otherwise, I just publish it. It's going to drop it right in to Social Pro. And now this post is ready to go. I can schedule it to send on, a little bit closer to Juneteenth if I wanted to send it right now, because it's not necessarily a date, locked type of post. I could send it right now. I could add it to a queue, which basically means if you have a bunch of different posts that are being sent right now or on your schedule, again, you just add it to that queue. So it'd be the next thing at the end of those other posts going out. It would then go out. Um, and now we can have our post preview here as well. So what is it going to look like on Facebook? What is it going to look like on Instagram? What is it going to look like on Google Updates? What is
Oh,
it going to
that's
look like on
super
LinkedIn, et
helpful.
cetera? Yeah, which we think is pretty helpful. Last thing, which is kind of helpful on this view as it relates to the post and caption itself, is this draft here that we whipped up together is really going to distribute to all of the different channels that we've selected previously, these four. If I wanted to modify a little bit for each of those individually, we can do that here and say, I just want to say something a little bit different on Instagram than I would on Facebook. And then obviously now it's a little bit even more customized for that particular network, but in
Okay.
one place. Big advantage there. I'm sure a lot of you struggle with, when you're tagging different business pages or maybe even different users in your posts, you might notice that their handles on, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and these other channels are different. For example, Opinion, we're Opinion Inc. on um, on Facebook, but we're Opinion App on Instagram. And so one of the struggles is posting with, even from Instagram, and you're kind of pushing that out to a couple different pages, and you're tagging, a business or a user. A lot of people are having to go into those channels individually again anyway, just to change that handle or tag for the respective channel they're on, which is kind of a little bit nuanced. So this kind of helps with that. You can handle that right here in the body for each of those channels, which is really, really nice. If you're not a Canva user, that's okay. You can upload your own media for things that you might be creating in some other tool. If you're not a creative type of person, you're not creating with Canva, you're not making things on your own. We've also thought through that, and we've provided everybody here with a library of high quality, professionally curated from different artists, photographers, videographers, stock photos and stock imagery. So if you, again, you're just looking for, I need to get that post out today, I got to get my 2 posts out per week. You can get a lot of inspiration from this library powered by Unsplash. If you're unfamiliar, check it out. But we've baked it right in. So again, just for the sake of the demonstration, I'm just going to grab this image that I like. I'm going to throw that in.
Does that require an account with Unsplash, or
Nope.
is that okay?
Not at all. Nope. Not
So
at all.
completely royalty free, no license or anything that has to be purchased.
100%. And that's one of the benefits of a tool like Unsplash. They already have hundreds and thousands and hundreds of thousands of images and video and other types of content that are royalty free, and those are all baked in right here into the tool, so you can use those without restriction. Cool. So that piece, again, just kind of some of the little bit of the bells and whistles I wanted to show, but also wanted to show now how to kind of do this in mass. So I mentioned you can do this for one property or for many, even the corporate, entity and many properties all at once. If we are posting, for example, the Juneteenth post, because I haven't dropped a logo on here, if you wanted to really kind of customize these for your exact audience, best practice is to throw a logo on there. And then you're going to have to do that many times for all of your different locations.
Yeah, every property, every logo.
Yeah, exactly. And so we thought through that. And what we have added for people is if I go into our accounts here and I go into, I'm just going to use Lofts on Main Facebook, for example. We've added a cool watermark feature where you can put a logo and decide where on my images do I want it to show up, how large or small do I want it to show up, and the opacity. I can kind of fade it in a little bit. And now, once that's saved, and I'm going to save it back at 100, but every image that we go to post is now going to include that watermark. So now rapidly you can come
specific for their property, not like okay.
Exactly. And so because I just set that up right now for Lofts on Main Facebook, if I select Lofts on Main Facebook, that watermark is now going to come onto this image by default in that bottom left corner, like you saw in the watermark setting.
Oh,
and
it's easier.
Yeah, think of that for now, 10, 15, 50, 80, 180 or so properties, where with a quick selection, drop in, a brandless image essentially, and then able to still brand that and have a post out in, a minute or a minute and a half. Really, really powerful. And we think is going to make for happy teams because it's going to make the job a little bit quicker, but it's also a little bit more fun as well, having some of those suggestions and resources baked right in.
Yeah, I'd love to hear some feedback from the audience on, is that a game changer for you, or what is the name of this first tool? Somebody asked. Joe, I'm not sure if so. This is Social Pro by Opinion. I don't know if that's what you're asking or something more specific. We'll monitor the chat, but
yep, totally. Now, in terms of collaboration, so there's different types of permissions. So there's owner, there's manager, there's content creator. And so the content creator permission, the big difference there is that any posts to whatever social networks, whatever post, images, video, whatever they're trying to get out, when they go to schedule or send now, instead of actually hitting those channels right away, you'll see some examples here on the dashboard. They're going to come into requiring approval. So somebody having manager or owner access would then need to come in and say, okay, someone's trying to get this out on our social networks. I can approve it. I can kick it back and say, hey, maybe it needs a little bit of tweaking, or I can just come in and edit it myself briefly and say, I just want to change the date and time that this is going out, or I just don't like that hashtag, right? I can make a quick modification, update it, and then send it. So collaboration there, which we think is going to be really awesome to help with, certainly through the training stages of before people, new hires really understand, the brand and voice, and you're just trying to kind of feel out, but you want them to get their feet wet. Let them get in there, let them build these posts, let them create images, let them pull from the stock photo library, and schedule these posts, and then have somebody else kind of looking those over, either approving, pushing them through, or sending them back with feedback, or just modifying and then getting them out the door. So um, lastly here, because I know we're kind of getting close to time, is the calendar. So being able to see not just your posts, but anyone who on your team, again, corporate, property, whatever, if you're all sharing access to those property assets, you're able to see what posts are going out and when. So if I go to, today, for example, I can see what is hitting the Opiniion social media pages, what's hitting our Lofts on Main social media pages. If for some reason I say, I actually want this one to hit on Saturday, it's a simple click and drag, and I'm going to move that to another day. Which is, again, great for collaboration, great for visibility, and to see more, you just click this more posts here, and then you can see the whole schedule of what's going out on all of the social pages that you can see or have access to. And then lastly, analytics. We think that we've kind of really nailed this with helping our users see what's happening on their social pages. What does engagement look like? What do followers look like? What do post reactions look like, etc. If the analytics, default dashboard here isn't going to cut it for you, you can create your own entirely. So if you come into analytics and go into reports, you can create your own with a bunch of drag and drop modules. Let's say I want to create some reports for our Facebook data, Instagram, LinkedIn, Google as well. So I'm going to create that report, and now from those different assets, I'm going to say, okay, what data does the tool give me access to? I want to pull from there. So I want to see total posts on LinkedIn. I want to see total followers on my Google. I want to see customer actions, which will probably not be many, but you can drag and drop all those, rearrange these however needed. All of this here is just for preview. I'm going to click to see live data now, and it's going to show you what's happening on my Facebook and LinkedIn pages for this particular business or property. Yeah. So really excited about that, and we think that'll give a lot of flexibility for people to get exactly what they want to see and what they care about in terms of measuring social media success.
Awesome. One, if you've got any questions for Evan, if there's something that maybe didn't get covered or didn't get covered close enough on Social Pro, would love to see those questions in the chat. Listing Pros, I don't know if you know, we're getting pretty late here on timing, but that's a new product that came out along with this as well. You want to go over that briefly?
Yeah, Listings Pro is our solution for business listings. So it's a solution that the industry you should be pretty well familiar with at this point. There's been a lot of players in the game that have done this for a lot of years. And again, with the goal of tech consolidation, we've brought that into Opiniion as well. So directory listings, or business listings, as some may know it, basically it's the tool that will take your property's name, address, phone number, or NAP, so basic information, and publish it across up to a global network of 200 plus publishers to get you and your property seen everywhere and anywhere that prospects might be looking, and even places they're not looking. The benefit of being on the sites that prospects aren't looking is more SEO weight. So as users in your markets are searching for 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom studio apartments in, let's call it Houston, having more links showing your business information is going to give you more weight and more opportunity to show up in the search results, maximizing your reach and exposure to prospective residents who are looking for you when they search for 2, 3, and 4-bedroom apartments or similar. And that one, comes with some bells and whistles of other features of, being able to post, special offers or featured messages. Again, all from one place that's going to push out to all of those different networks. Business hours, if you're shutting down early because you're understaffed, or, maybe you guys decided to give the afternoon off to go do a team activity or something, you can jump into Listings Pro and you can say, hey, the office is closed from today, for the rest of the day. That'll hit Google and all of the major networks. So that way, if people are searching, they're not getting, confused or misled or showing up at the property upset that nobody's there, even though Google and Facebook say that you're open. So just helping with a lot of that all in one place is what Listings Pro is all about.
Well, fantastic. Well, I think we filled up the entire half hour, and so really just want to thank you for the time that you spent on this. If folks want to get more information, I want to find out really quick. Let's see if we've got anybody else that has posted. I don't see anything else. But if folks want to get more information, we've got a special landing page for them. This way, people just know that it came, from this webinar. But Opiniion, it's with 3 I's. So opiniion.com/SHI. And Jan also put that in the comments as well. So you can just link from there. Any other news or updates or anything else you want to share with us about Opiniion?
We'll be at NAA Apartmentalize here in a few weeks in Las Vegas. If anyone's going, come see us.
Get a coffee cup.
Come get some swag. We can show you the tool live. You can click it. You can poke around on it yourselves if you'd like. But we'd love to see you there.
Well, perfect. Well, we'll see you there. And thanks so much. Have a great weekend. If I don't talk to you before it's all over with this week, and thanks to everybody else for joining today.
Thanks.
All right.
Take care.